This is Conversations with Mike Sparks.
Are you concerned with the state of America, your state, your community? Then you're in the right place. State Representative Mike Sparks. He and guests are here to talk about local politics, history, faith, and freedom.
All right, Conversation Mike Sparks. I'm your host, Mike Sparks. Got Connor in the studio. Connor, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing good. Hadn't seen you in a while. You working mornings?
Starting Sunday evenings, I'm going to be training Terica.
Oh, Terica is going to start?
Yes.
Oh, we got approval? Oh, that's some good news. I talk about these God things, God wink moments, synchronicities. I'm not the only one that's talked about that. Albert Einstein talked about it. He said coincidences are God's way of remaining anonymous. So cool coincidence that we'll hopefully talk about tonight. And sadly, beautiful Tiffany's going to be leaving. Is that okay to say on the air? Is that okay to say? Huh? You're going to be leaving. Where are you going? Come here. Talk about it. Here, jump in here. And you're with. Can you say who you're working for, mainly in Nashville?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
All right, so I'm with Channel 2.
Yeah.
And my schedule has changed. I'll be doing days. 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. Do you like it?
I like it.
And
I
them
like
folks work hard.
Yeah, it's like the newsroom and never sleeps. So,
Yeah.
and then when I get off here from 9 o'clock, then I'll have to go straight to work.
Yeah.
Back.
It. Do you like what you're doing?
I do.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. It's sad, because it's the news and you get some, especially with the recent hurricane.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the stories just really hit home, and it's just so sad.
Well, you're you've been going back to school,
Yeah.
journalism. Now,
Yeah.
are you thinking about switching majors?
No, I'm going to finish up this one. I'm just going to
Good.
add to it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we need good journalists, and that's kind of what we're fixing to talk about. Remind me that you need to ask Larry Flowers. I told Larry to leave Channel 4 years ago.
Yeah.
It's a good example of fake news. If Larry's listening, it's not his fault. It's his producer's fault, Channel 4.
The
And I wasn't even planning on saying this. This just kind of flows because I've got Nick Gold with Main Street Media fixing to join us, son of Dave Gold, and nice front page article of Marty Luffman, so I want to get into that. But no, they had here's how the media works, folks. This corporate media that really bothers me. There was a prayer. I can't make this up, Tiffany. Okay. There was a prayer to school, Stewart's Creek High School, when it was first came on the scenes, and had a lot of leaders there. And somebody said a prayer. I don't see a problem with it. So Larry Flowers was calling me, and I said, well, I didn't say the prayer, like you need to call the guy that said the prayer. Well, he couldn't get a hold of that guy. And I had just left a county commission meeting, and the planning committee was trying to mandate, this is a true story, mandate sprinkler systems. Like you have to have sprinkler systems in your homes. This is a true story now. But Larry didn't call me about mandating sprinkler systems, which adds, roughly $8,000 to $10,000 the price of a new home. We already have a home affordability crisis on our hands. And he said, well, can you come out and do the interview? So I was out there in front of the school. I said, I'll do the interview. And I said, Larry, who complained? Guess how many people complained, Connor? Nick, take a guess how many people complained. Anybody that's doing want to take a guess, just throw out a number.
You in the back. Throw a number.
Throw a number out. How many people complained? 10? No. 30? No, not 30.
Two
I would
people.
say 55.
55. Connor?
Is it zero? Is it nobody?
It's zero.
Oh.
Zero.
Oh, no.
So this makes breaking news because not one citizen complained, but they're going to go make breaking news. There was a prayer to school. This is how corporate journalism is. This is what's sad. And that's why it's really refreshing when I've got folks like Nick here and Tiffany, and then Terica that's fixing to be joining us. What a beautiful soul. Isn't she sweet?
Yeah, she's
awesome. She really is. But I told Larry Miller, or Larry Flowers, I said, Larry, I know you're Christian. I can sense it. You know how you can just sense people, I said, I know you're a believer. I said, why are you doing the story? He said, well, my producers tell me to do this. And I could tell he didn't really want to do the story. And I said, man, you need to leave them He said, well, they pay the best. Now, Larry may not like me sharing this on the radio, but hey, it's true story. And he says, man, they pay the best. Says, man, don't worry about the pay. You need to leave them. It was about a month later. I'm at the governor's, right there by the governor's office at State Capitol. Larry comes running over from the steps, and Larry said, Representative, he hollered at me. He said, I'm leaving Channel 2. I'm leaving Channel 4. I'm going to Channel 2. He said, I'm moving to your district. I'm going to be able to vote for you. Now, he may not like me sharing this on the air. No apologies, Larry, if you're listening, because this is the truth of what journalism is today, and it's sad because they want to divide us. You know who they called, Nick, to get a quote?
Who?
Someone in D.C. They had to call, how far is D.C. away? 600 miles away from here?
That's a long way.
They had to call D.C. to get a quote from somebody because separation of church and state or something like that. But there's also this thing called the First Amendment. It's first for a reason. It's not number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. Even Dave Chappelle, you know who Dave Chappelle is, Tiffany?
I never seen him.
You never heard of Dave Chappelle? Even Dave Chappelle. You know what Dave Chappelle said about the First Amendment and the Second Amendment? You ever hear?
No.
Nobody knows what he said.
What did he say?
He said the Second Amendment's there just in case the first one don't work out.
Yeah,
He's late.
I've
What
heard
did
that
he
one.
say?
But anyways, that's my Larry Flowers story. And I love everybody loves Larry Flowers. But we're gonna miss you. When's you gonna be your last night?
Kind of maybe tonight.
Oh, really?
Right now. Look at me just
How long have you been
kinda-
around WGNS now?
2 years.
2.
2 years. But I'm not gone completely. I spoke with Brian about at least doing a show at least once a month.
Yeah. Well, you come up here.
Yeah, swing in.
chill.
Yeah.
Just
Swinging here.
come by.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Well, let me jump into Nick. We'll talk about some more fake news.
Oh no.
Nick, you don't know about no fake news, do you?
What's that, Mike?
I'm kidding. Yeah. No, I'm a big fan of his father, Nick Gold, and I'm gonna tell you why I'm a fan.
Go ahead, Mike.
You put my friend who's paralyzed from the waist down on the front page, and tell us why tell us why that's a good feature story and good news instead of divisive news.
Well, I mean, Marty Luffman, he is a pillar in the Smyrna community. The Murfreesboro Post, we do cover all of Rutherford County, and Marty being a pillar in the community, seeing him, after he got into his accident, seeing him get back up on his feet and complete that race, with another elected official in that Smyrna area, Brittany Stevens. We have to put him on the front page.
Yeah.
Dan Eppright does a really good job covering North Rutherford for us. Very involved in the community. We're blessed to have him on our team, and just to be able to do that, to be able to show how far Marty's come in his recovery and how far he still has to go. We hope for the best over these next couple months for him to get back up on his feet permanently.
Well, I had the irony. I had another news outlet. I won't say who they are, and I don't really trust them, to be honest with you. It's not the Daily News Journal, but and I just don't really trust them. And I told the reporter that, and I said, I took a picture of Marty. Here's the strange coincidence. I said, why don't you? I said, hey man, I texted him. I said, here's a good story. Put Marty in your paper. He never did respond. And then I got a text from your editor, Ivan
Aronin,
Aronin, and he had called or texted me and said, hey man, here's a story we're doing. It was so strange. It was probably 2 days after I texted the other media outlet in Nashville, who didn't seem interested, but y'all were interested. But you know the thing where that's you know how much that lifted that dude up. I guarantee it lifted him up.
Well, it's nice seeing yourself in the paper, and that's one of the reasons that we still publish as a newspaper is we're providing a permanent record for folks. That will go down in the Tennessee archives.
Yeah,
it will be there forever. With the digital age that's come upon us, it can be fleeting sometimes, which is good. There's so much access to it, but it's here one day, it's gone the next.
Yeah.
But when something's printed, when something's published, there is a permanent record, and folks do get excited about that, and it's nice to be able to to be able to provide that for folks.
Well, plus, if you look at it from a marketing perspective, you know how many people are going to share that article? You know the one person that's going to share that article the most? Who's it going to be?
You might, Mike.
I know it's going to be Marty Luffman. I promise it's going to be 10,000 people because he's going to tell 10,000 folks. Well, you brought me a stack at Rotary.
Oh, yeah.
You know. But I think Marty's going to call in. Our show coming up here, we're going to talk about, is Sam Davis' home haunted? Do you think it's haunted?
There's some ghost stories, and I did one of those ghost tours.
Yeah.
And I think there's some reasoning behind it.
So we're gonna get into this here in a few. But wanted you up because it really meant a lot to me for y'all to recognize him. And I've never seen seen y'all ever have like a political bent where it's like gotcha, try to slander or make anybody look bad. I've never seen. Now if elected official got a DUI or something, they're going to cover it naturally. But I just appreciate y'all, your dad, and and trying to cover truth and fairness and real life stories that really impact people's lives.
Well, and that's the thing. Murfreesboro has gotten so big, and there are other media companies that will cover, big restaurants or current events. But when you're talking about city council meetings or your local high schools, there's not much coverage on it. And that's something that, we want to provide. And we're a unique media company in that sense.
How many papers do y'all own now?
We're publishing 15 weekly newspapers.
I mean, you think about it. And is your dad listening? Do you know?
Yeah, he's tuned in.
Is he listening? Okay. I mean, has anybody ever thought your dad's crazy? Who goes in the newspaper business?
Well, it's probably my mom who tells him he's the crazy one. Yeah.
Yeah. But is he? Do you think? And he's never shared this with me, but do you think he deep down in his gut he's got like this passion that's saying, I see what's going on in the world and I want to change it for the better? Do you think that's part of that motive, I guess?
Well, he's been very passionate about newspapers. When my mom first met him, he was living in this, probably 200 square foot apartment. And she went in there and he had the whole apartment stacked with newspapers, pretty much all the way up to the ceiling. Because he loves it. He reads them, for that same point earlier, it's a permanent record. Back then in the 80s, that was it. That was newspapers. Yeah. But here today, we still need them, and he recognizes that, and that's why he's done what he does. Some of these newspaper companies will come to us because they're hemorrhaging money and they can't survive.
Well, that's what I wanted to get into. One thing that I thought was very just heroic. Maybe there's a better term for it, but the Pulaski, is it the Pulaski Citizen was going under, right? And your dad stepped in, and this is a 167-year-old newspaper.
1854 they first started publishing.
And it was fixing to close, and your dad stepped in. How'd your dad know about the paper? Did somebody call him?
I think it was the mayor. I could be wrong, but I think it was the Pulaski mayor that reached out to Dave, and they were worried. They said, hey, our local paper's fixing to close down. It's been publishing for 180 years or whatever. And, would somebody, help us out? Is there somebody that can do something about it? Knowing that he publishes, I think at the time, 13 other newspapers in the area, they realized that he was in the market, and he pretty much always is. And with our business model, we've been able to keep them going, and we will continue to do so as long as we have the support.
Yes. Well, here's the quote from the mayor that I thought was pretty enlightening. This is Mayor J.J. Brindley of Pulaski. If you don't give the public the news, they're going to make it up on their own. The disclosure announcement in parentheses. And this way the people get to see how valuable the paper is and how much they have served this community. And really, I had a guy the other day tell me, it was a few months ago, he had a theory. He says, Facebook is really took the place in a way of the newspapers, and it's really hurt newspapers because not many people are buying ads, and you got to pay reporters to go out there. And in fact, I bought an ad, And one thing that motivated me, because I thought that was some cool news, and I want to support y'all. But if there's businesses out there listening, I want to encourage you to support Main Street Media, the Murfreesboro Post. You think that was probably the most satisfying paper for your dad to try to save?
Well, it's a good story, and I think the fact that it's a, let's see, let me do my math here, 170-year-old newspaper, the fact that we can keep it going. I mean, they survived through the Civil War. They survived through the Great Depression.
Wow.
You know, they've kept it
What a
going
cool
somehow.
story.
And
Do y'all have that in the documentaries? Any news media outlets? I'm sure they've covered it, right?
I mean, you know, we had a pretty cool story on the front page of the Pulaski Citizen.
No, I mean like media, like TV.
Another media company. I'm not exactly sure. I'm not exactly sure.
Well, I've got
on
a young
that.
lady that I hired that's fixing to start here. In fact, I think she starts tonight. Going to be a little rock star. Another weird moment. Me and her just happened to see her here recently, and she that was just coincidence. I just happened to walk up to her, and she had interviewed me a few times. We got in here. I'm going to break, but I got to segue into our next program. Just share the thoughts of why you care about what you do.
Well, like I said, you know, there's not many people out there that cover local high schools. The local sports teams, what happened on Friday night. Also, city council meetings. We got to keep the government honest.
Yeah.
And we have to report on their ordinances and make sure the public's aware of everything that's happening in the government and how it affects your day-to-day life. Now, our newspapers collectively cover each individual area that they're in.
Yeah.
You know, the Murfreesboro Post, we're going to talk about Rutherford County, and we're going to talk about what's happening locally, what affects your day-to-day lives. And that's exactly what we're passionate about.
You think government's honest?
Well, you know, we try to keep them honest because, you know, there are certain things that we do have to publish for them. And if there wasn't a third party to do that,
yeah,
I think that would allow for people to be a little more dishonest.
You ever read the quote by Mark Twain where he said the most, I know I'm going to jack this quote up, but he says something about no one's ever felt pain until they've been, it's an old term, is it pillowed? I know your dad's saying it right now. It's like pillowed or pilloyed in the newspaper, and that's the truth. You ain't felt pain until you've been like criticizing a newspaper, especially when it's fake news, which I've had. They put me on the front page one day, tried to call me.
Not us.
No, not y'all. Anti-Semitic. No, was it? I know I got called anti-Semitic in the Huffington Post. That was nationwide. All I did was share a video of that KGB agent back in the 80s. They took that and spun it as propaganda. And then I had, I was anti-Semitic. This was when I first ran for office. And then a few years, it was probably about 8 years ago, they took a Facebook post I made from May. Get this now, from May. And then waited till the day of my election, the primary, and I knew what the reporter was doing. I could sense it. So I quoted Dr. King, and Dr. King had a quote that I really like. He said, there's so many quotes. I like the one. This was the one. Our lives begin to end when we become silent about the things that matter. So these things should matter. And they were flying the gay pride flag in Nashville on light poles. I didn't think it was right, so I put it on Facebook. And they waited for May to try to slam me. And I told them to go read Genesis 50 verse 20. You know what Genesis 50 verse 20?
Go ahead, Mike.
Anybody know that scripture? Genesis 50 verse 20. It's where Joseph told his brothers, what you meant for evil, God meant for good. Okay. You know what happened? I jumped 20 percentage points. So what they meant for evil, God meant for good. I committed almost 80%. You know, how do you explain that? But this is what bothers me with the media. Instead of covering good news, I think government is corrupt. I'll just be straight up with you. I think it is. I've seen a lot of dark side of things.
Is that you included, Mike?
Well, not me, but I mean, when you see, there's nobody lobbying for just people, man. There's really not. They're not. You know, I had a bill that would save $22 million. You know who fought me? Taxpayer-funded lobbyist. You'd be shocked at the people that wanted me to back off that bill. They wanted their $10,000 pay raise. I think that's corrupt, don't you? It's unethical. And I hadn't got over that, by the way. That's been 14 years. That bill would have saved $22 million, but your tax dollars go to fund lobbyists who turn around and fight me on that stuff. and they get to the committee people and get them to stop it. I don't think somebody making $180,000 needs a $10,000 pay raise. Well, you think that?
No.
I don't think your dad needs. But see, nobody ever covers it. It's just sad, that, you know. But anyways, I don't mean to rant so much about. But people need to realize 90% of the media is controlled by 5 to 6 huge corporations. You know that, don't you? Huge corporations that I think have an agenda to divide this country, because I witness it. I see it. You know, turn on any news station, you see the propaganda. They'll spin things, their ways, and that's what motivated me to go back to school. You know, I appreciate your dad hiring. There's a young lady in my class, and I knew she had some health issues. Real nice young lady. Her dad was, I think her grandfather was driving her to school all the way from Lebanon, and y'all hired her. Y'all gave her a job, and she had that award-winning shot of Marty. You know, that won a Tennessee Press Association award.
Was it Jasmine?
I think it was. Yeah, where Marty's like in the rehab.
Yeah. We're blessed. We won several awards this year. I think as a company we came away with 60 TPA awards.
Are you bragging?
No.
Yeah, you are. You're bragging.
Well, you know, you asked about a specific one, and I'm trying to remember exactly what it was.
Just so many you can't keep up with all of them.
Well, you know, like I said, we've been blessed. A lot of times we are competing against ourselves in different areas, but we're just happy to be there, and we're happy to keep it going. So
yeah. Well, I appreciate your time. I think we had a caller. Is he still on? Okay, caller, go ahead.
How's it going, Mr. Gould? How you doing?
Doing well, sir.
I just tell your father I appreciate his employment from Post, and while Mike says all media is liberal, it's not. We just got.
I didn't say media is liberal. I did not say that. You didn't hear me say that.
They just got a job to do. They're doing their job.
Well, that's proper. If you're doing the paper, brother, and you just said I said liberal, I didn't say that, so that's wrong what you just said.
90% of them is doing with 6%. So I mean, I do high school sports. I don't do news, but I want to defend the media all day long. I want to defend them all. They got a job to do.
Yeah, but here's Jeff. Here's what you're saying. If you just said that I said they're liberal, you're spreading propaganda, brother.
Well, most of them are liberal.
No, I didn't say that, so don't say that. Don't say something I didn't say, brother.
What'd you say, Mike? 9%?
They're not liberal. I didn't say nobody's liberal. I'm saying they got a slant to it.
Well, what's their agenda then? What's their agenda?
I think their agenda is terrible news to divide America, and I think they've done a really good job at it. And the good thing about the Murfreesboro Post, they're taking somebody like Marty, who's in recovery, and lifting a brother up. And that's a positive story that we need. There's too much BS out here in this world I see it, man. I see it in my Rotary Club. I see it in local meetings, and I'm getting really fed up with it because we've got foreign enemies that want to destroy this country. And if I'm the only one that sees this stuff, I hope your dad sees it, then I'm going to call it out. I really don't care who gets offended. They just got to get their chaff over their butt and move on. And don't say I said that they're liberal, because I didn't say that.
Okay, well that's fine. I'm going to defend them all day long because they got a job.
Yeah, but just do the truth, man. Don't spread propaganda, because there's too much propaganda out there.
They got a job to do, and they're going to do it. So it's just like you said, we won most awards more than Gannett last year as far as the country.
All right.
So I mean, y'all hang in there, Mr. Gould. I appreciate your daddy for me. Have a good one. See you.
All right.
Thanks for calling in, Jeff.
Thanks. We're going to take a commercial break and go into Sam Davis' home, talk about that. But it's like right there, he just said, I said something, I didn't say that.
I was a little confused, honestly.
Well, that's what
Mike.
we got to be careful of, because propaganda is real. I witness it. Orwell talked about this. The things that Orwell talked about is playing out today. Maybe, I'm sure hopefully everybody else sees this. Maybe I'm not the, I mean, I know your dad sees it. I know your dad sees it. I hope he's listening right now. And it's just sad because we need to come together as a country. Most of these issues aren't Democrat or Republican. Affordable housing, that's not a Republican issue, Democrat issue. A criminal justice reform, not a Republican, Democrat issue. Infrastructure, illegal immigration, open border that's going to bankrupt this country. If we're not careful, it's going to bankrupt this county. And I'm willing to say it right live on the radio. If we don't get a hold of this border, this country will go bankrupt. $35 trillion in debt. I wrote an op-ed, I think y'all printed it years ago. We were $17 trillion in debt. Now we're $35 trillion in debt. Somebody's got to report that stuff, you know. you know, I got this new grandbaby. Got 2 new grandbabies. I was holding her today, and she's wanting to play, and you know, and I don't have the energy I used to, you know, and I look in her eyes. I'm like, where's the future of this nation? And it can't be propaganda. If there's propaganda, we need to stop it right there. But God bless you, your newspaper, Main Street Media, your dad, and all your staff. And I was telling Ivan, y'all need to do a whole staff meeting, get everybody together and talk about this is what we do and why we do it. Lifting a brother up like Marty Luffman is real news. It's good news, and people need to hear it. So thank you, Nick, for coming up on the air with us.
Yeah, happy to do it. Thanks for having us, Mike. Thanks for being a good friend, Murfreesboro Post.
All right. Let's take a quick break, Connor. We'll be right back.
Hey, Middle Tennessee, it's Mark from the Safe House. And now the security riddle of the day. What's less secure than a fake safe from a big box or furniture store? Joe Biden's fake border policy, of course. But hey, there is good news. This time next year, Joe Biden will not be president. So drop by the Safe House and check out the largest selection of safes in the Southeast. Build a wall around your valuables with a safe from the Safe House. We have certified delivery crews to deliver and install your safe. Don't let a crackhead or illegal deliver your safe. With over 30 years in the safe business, the Safe House is the place to buy a safe in Tennessee. So go to NashvilleSafeHouse.com.
Hi, this is Allie Dowenhauer with Isaiah 117 House. Isaiah 117 House provides physical and emotional support for children awaiting foster care placement here in Rutherford County. We are changing the way foster care begins, and those kiddos are brought to our house to hang out and wait for a foster family, and they're given everything they need. We support foster children, DCS, and foster families here in Rutherford County. Visit us at www.isaiah117house.com or visit our Facebook page, Isaiah 117 House, Rutherford County.
At Dr. Automotive in Smyrna, we're committed to providing local car owners with top-notch auto repair services. With over 2 decades of experience, our ASC certified master technicians are experts in both foreign and domestic vehicles, ensuring accurate diagnosis and timely, cost-effective repairs. From oil changes to major engine and transmission repairs, we've got the cure for your car. Dr. Automotive, keeping your car running smoothly, mile after mile. Visit our website, SmyrnaAutorepair.com.
Most people know that their insurance can provide them with coverage for the many life's mishaps. But I can help you also unlock discounts, save money, and get benefits with Farmers Insurance policy perks. Whether we're discussing home or auto insurance, I am here to help you understand these great perks. Call me, Mark Lewis, at 615-625-7070 for a quote, and you can get a whole lot of something with Farmers policy perks.
We are Farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Not available in every state. Only available at select Farmers branded policies underwritten by Farmers Truck or Fire Insurance Exchanges or affiliates.
When I say VFW, you probably have some visions of a smoke-filled bar with a bunch of old-timers eyeballing you. Well, the Stones River VFW is doing things different. No smoke-filled rooms, no turning prospective members away, and a strong emphasis on camaraderie and community. We believe in instilling our American values in our young people through numerous programs such as Voice of Democracy, Patriots Pen, Scout of the Year, and VFW Teacher of the Year. The Stones River Post intends on becoming a driving force to help, aid, and assist wartime veterans. So if you're one of those veterans with a campaign medal and you want that sense of purpose that you've been missing, then give our recruiter, Andrew Farr, a call at 615-490-5715.
Hey, I'm Floyd, and I'm inviting you to join me at CR. That's Celebrate Recovery. We meet at Family Worship Center, 3045 Memorial Boulevard on Sunday at 6 p.m. We're a 12-step Christ-centered program that offers help for all the hurts, habits, and hang-ups that's causing you pain. The program works if you work it, and I'm proof. For other CR groups, go to CelebrateRecovery.com and click on the group finder. Hope to see you soon.
All right, we're back. Conversation Mike Sparks. I got the interesting show with these guys. Roger Thomas with Sam Davis Home, and Jeremy Smithson, and I think Marty Luppin's going to call in. You know, we'll talk about ghost and paranormal. We did this, I think, the past 2 or 3 years in a row with the month of October. You know, I've never seen a ghost or anything like that. I know people that have. They claim they have. I've got a relative that's very, credible. He's an undercover agent. Very proud of this guy. And when he's a kid, he's seen something. He's like 6, and when he tells me the story, I start laughing, and he gets mad. That's why I don't want to talk about it, because you don't take me seriously. But it's funny how his reaction is what makes it funny. But I've got some folks that claim that they've seen a ghost at Sam Davis Home, or at least behind it, and one of them's Jeremy Smithson. Jeremy, you want to tell your story?
Yeah, this is like couple years ago, something like that. It was on Smyrna Golf Course, actually. Speaking of which, not to go on a big old tangent, but Hal Laughlin, happy retirement to him.
Yeah.
He's turning over the reins to somebody else there. I'm not going to say who I think it is, but I have a hunch on who's going to take over operations there. But anyway.
Okay.
But yeah, no. Yeah, it was it had just rained, surprisingly, in the middle of summer, and it was foggy. It was foggy in the dead of summer. It was very strange. But my morning tasks for that work day was to go out and mow fairways.
Yeah.
And for anybody who's been to Smyrna Golf Course, if you've played that course, if you're a regular or if you have a very good memory of it, you know how hole 11, dog legs left. And you've more than likely have seen that gravesite that sits there. I've memorized who's buried there. It is a Mr. Wiley Sanders and his 2 wives. Sanders.
2 wives? Oh, okay.
Yeah. One wife passed away.
Maybe more or something. Anyways, I shouldn't say that. I'm sorry.
But yeah,
anyways.
no, yeah, we were, I was mowing, and I was coming around that dog leg, and I saw I'm not going to say a person, but I saw a shape, a figure, standing there facing what I equated to, like, facing into the gravesite, looking over. This area is fenced off by a wrought iron fence, and it has been there for so long that the wood, there's 2 trees. There's 2 trees on either side of the headstone. One of the trees has grown has grown around the wrought iron fence.
Oh,
and so I'm thinking, like, it's 5:45 in the morning. No one's supposed to be out here.
Yeah.
I'm going to go let them know, hey, you guys can't be over here. So I pull out my reels, about to go over there and get off the machine, go over there and talk to them, saying, hey, you guys can't be over here. And this thing, whatever it is, disappears.
Did it? You've seen it once or twice?
Just that one time.
Just that one time?
That one time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now, let me jump over here to Roger, because Roger, what's your official position at Sam Davis
Well,
Home?
I'm a tour guide.
Tour
Mike.
guide. Okay. Not site interpreter. Is
Yeah,
that the same thing?
Yeah, same
Okay.
thing.
Okay. Because you had something. That's kind of how you and I got to know each other, because we were doing a remote from Sam Davis Home, which we've done for many, many years, probably 20 something years. We've been doing like a little bit of remote. There may have been a year we missed or something. But you told me an interesting story that happened to you.
I've been here 7 years now.
Yeah.
And we've had ghost tours. We do that every year, you know. And
when do they start?
Next weekend, the 11th and the 12th, Friday and Saturday night from 6 to 10. And then the 18th and 19th from 6 to 10. Now, the last wagon, you know, you start out with a hayride, then you go through the house. And it's a lot to it. It's not just walk through in a haunted house. It's a
How long does it last?
If you do the hayride itself, probably about 45 minutes. You know.
Oh, is it? How much?
Normal prices that you'd pay when you'd come in, like $20 adult, 15 seniors and veterans, and children 12 and 5 and under is free. But I wouldn't recommend it for little ones. We had some little ones. People bring them in and they get crying. I said, hey, well, it's supposed, you know, we don't want to jip the people that's coming in, and we can't really scare you all this time because we got little kids. You know, just use your judgment.
So you just go ahead and cause childhood trauma and move on.
Yeah, that's what we do.
The rest of their lives are
well, we tell them to get in.
Life,
you know. We can't tone it down. It's just the way we do it. You know, actors and all are geared to one way, going one way.
Now, do you play a part?
No, I'm actually one that leads you through the house and tells you the different things, and I give the cues when you're going to get it.
You don't dress up or nothing?
No. What are you trying to say, Mike?
No, I mean, you know, put a uniform on or something.
No. I'm actually, I tell the story where, you know, Sam's, the funeral in there, we have a coffin in there, you know, in a formal parlor. That's where they had his funeral.
Yeah.
Then we walk through, and I'll tell you some stories there. You know, it's pretty
Well, talk about what
has happened.
What's really what happened to you a few times.
Well, I always heard when I first started, they would tell stories out there. Different these ladies would tell stories that you would, when they walk to the graveyard or on the hayride, they'd tell about the lady in green has been seen walking out there.
Lady in green?
Yeah, that's their big story. Everybody.
She was dressed in green or a green mist?
Dressed in green. And a lot of people have seen through the years of the Sam Davis Home. You know,
is it like a green antebellum sort type of dress.
Yes,
Yeah.
And then a lady in red has been seen there up in the offices.
A lady in red?
Yeah, the offices is actually, our office is actually a 100-year-old building that one of the Davises actually lived in. Niece was a caretaker up till 1965.
Oh, okay.
People have seen her in there.
Yeah.
And I messed with Jenny. Jenny had to spend the night. We had a car show, so she spent the night in there the other night.
Oh, she did?
Oh, she does that all the time.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
people
wow.
don't realize. They think you don't serious call. She's there for 36, 40, 24,
Oh, wow.
36 hours
So,
straight.
so you had heard the...
I've heard those stories, but I didn't
No,
think.
but you heard a voice.
Well, I was in the house one day, okay, and I was going to lock it up. All right, and I was by myself.
Yep.
And have you seen the movie Poltergeist? Have you ever seen
Oh,
that
man.
one?
Yeah, it's been a
Where
while.
that sound comes out. It's kind of like that's. I heard
How's
my
it
name.
go? What's it sound like?
Well, it's been a while since, like I said, I've seen the movie, but I know what you're talking about, but I can't
it's
replicate
kind
it.
of like in the wall. It's not like plain like me and you talking, but it's in the wall.
Can you make the sound? I mean, what's
No,
it sound
I'm
like?
not. No, I couldn't do it. I don't want to be the.
Connor, can you pull it up? Poltergeist movie song?
It's kind of like a whisper, hey, Roger, it's kind of like like that. It's just not like, hey, Roger, but
okay. So
anyway,
how did it say? It was a woman?
Yeah, it was a woman. This was a female.
And say it again, how'd it sound?
Like Roger, like that, okay? And anyway, I heard
Say
that.
it again.
And I
What's it
heard
like?
that. And I heard that. Okay, each time I say it, Mike, it's cost you $20. You know that.
Okay. All right.
Give
So
my
you had it
pen.
happen twice. A woman.
Yeah, 2 different times.
The same woman?
I think it was. It
Okay.
sounded the same.
Yeah.
And so this
what,
is.
What'd she say?
Don't listen to Mike Sparks.
Sure.
No.
So then you had something happen to you last week.
Well, yeah, but I did have a voice twice, on 2 different occasions.
Yeah.
But then here, I hadn't even thought about it in quite a while. With Halloween coming up and all, and the ghost tours, I was out doing some work in one of the other buildings. I came into the museum, and I know my director's son was there. He was inside up there with her.
Yeah.
And I walked in there, and I heard somebody holler, "Hey, Roger." And I said, "Oh, he's letting me know he's
Real
back
casual
here."
like that?
Yeah, like the casual guy, probably in
Yeah.
his 20s, and this guy's 16, 17, about 20s.
Okay.
And I walked back and said, "Yeah, what'd you need, man?" And he, what are you talking about? I said, did you just call my name out? And Jenny said, he's been here the whole time. I go, well, so, and I heard that plain as day.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I know, man.
It's,
and then some
that's
other
pretty-
things. I got a few other stories if you got time for them.
Yeah. Go ahead. Talk. Yeah. You ain't scared, are you?
No. Well, yeah. No,
Yeah.
not here. I'm not.
No.
But I was lady used to work there. Oh, we talking about the voices? The lady on the other crew. She's retired now, and I came in one day. She said, "Roger, you're not gonna believe this." I go, "What is it?" She said, "I heard your name called out." Woman, she said, "Called your name out." I said,
Is that the sound?
There wasn't the music. It wasn't no music. It was
come
just
up.
the. No.
That's what I've got on my computer. Okay. Says Poltergeist.
Yeah, but
Poltergeist thing.
it's when she's talking, the little girl or whatever her name is. It's it's her.
okay.
It's her. They're calling her out.
Oh.
And so
okay.
anyway, she's calling somebody out. But anyway, but she heard my name called out. She said, "I swear." She said, "I'm telling you right now, I'm not trying to scare you." She said, a lady called your name out in the house." She said, "I heard it."
Oh, that's pretty cool.
And so a couple other things that have happened. It's not really the voices, but me and a lady at work there, we went up to, whatever reason, we went up to the house checking something out. And Mike in his background. He's
trying to find it.
He's trying to get me on. He's trying to get me to crack up on the radio, I think.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
But anyway, we walked in the house, and where Sam's funeral was.
Yeah.
Where they had his coffin, where they had his funeral, there was actually a little door on his cabinet was open. Well, I stepped behind the ropes and shut it, okay? And just one way it snapped, you can hear it snap. Like a china closet, you hear it snap. So we went upstairs to Sam's room. There's a mirror on the little cabinet up there. It's a mirror.
Armoire, like an armoire.
Yeah, it is. It's kind of a short one, like, and then had a little mirror and the mirror spun. It spun all the way around. And we looked at each other, so we vibrated that. So we jumped up and down. So I always try to debunk it. We jumped up and down, and it didn't move again.
Yeah.
So we got out, went down a little quicker than what we came up. And when I went down, I looked over in that room where Sam's funeral was, and that door was open again.
Really?
Yeah, it's only been open twice since I've been there in 7 years.
Are you scared to be there by yourself?
No, I did a lot of humming and kind of singing and whistling when I go in there. I have to lock it up at night by myself. Some people will not go in the house at night to lock it up.
Yeah.
And then the other one, the doorknob. I might have told you that story.
Yeah.
I had some guests. I had about 10 people with me, and we always have to lock it up, entering and leaving. And the doorknob, it turned.
Oh, you seen it turn?
Oh, yeah, they
Really?
did. They saw it too. I said, if I got everybody? And I unlocked it. There wasn't nobody there, but I tried to debunk it. I thought maybe the doorknob stuck and it was popping, but I'm hoping I made myself believe that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that's the few of the things that's happened. I've had other little bitty things, but that's the ones that's most
Well, we had well, I know a couple of ladies that used to help just clean the house. Jamie Hicks was one of them. I don't think she'd mind me mentioning her, and Tammy. I can't never pronounce her name, Girano or something like that. And they both told me that they would fix the bed and you'd come back later and you'd see where like somebody sat there.
That's still
you
there.
Heard
That is still there.
Okay.
It's the grandmother's bed. That's not on the tour, but it's on the regular tour. I point that out.
Okay.
But it's not on the.
So you think that's true?
Ghost tour. I've seen it happen.
Have y'all flipped the mattress so it doesn't?
Yeah, our
You're
curator.
supposed to flip mattress, you know.
Well, yeah. But
Rotate
the
'em.
mattress, they flipped it every 40 years, I guess. It's been there 170 years. But yeah, I guess.
Well, you know,
so.
naturally can sink down.
No, but you can see the person's print in the bed.
Really? What about the music box?
Yeah, I've heard that thing playing. I haven't.
Oh, you've heard it?
I hadn't, but I've heard people hearing that music box playing.
You know what I'm thinking of doing? I'd like to go over and just trick you, man. At night.
No, hey, I'm ready
Play
for him
something in
now.
the background on my phone.
No, I know you because it take a few minutes to get it going. I know what you missing.
I ain't making fun of you, man. It's just I've never heard anything, but I mean I believe you if you say it's true.
I'm not saying it. That's just what my thoughts were when I heard it. I'm not. Everybody think, oh, this guy's crazy. I'm just telling you, man. You're there all the time.
A lot
of
people may not want to talk about something because they
I'm not a.
They don't get ridiculed live on WGNS.
Yeah, or have to do the sound 3 or 4 times, you know. And,
Hi, Roger.
Yeah.
I think we've got Marty Luffman on. Marty, you there?
I'm here, guys.
Hey,
I'm
man.
here.
I was like,
back me up, Marty. He's making fun of me.
Now,
Oh yeah, we're over here laughing.
well, you've seen some things.
we hear like
That's a scary
Shaq
bug.
telling Chuck to say it again.
Not always, though.
What's that, Marty?
Nothing. I was making fun of Roger.
Oh, well, you witnessed. You said you seen a couple of times. You seen something there.
Oh yeah, and like Roger, I mean, back before he was born, I had an experience with a ghost at the Sam Davis home, and I never actually gave tours in the building. Hello.
Yeah, we're here. We're listening.
Oh, okay. But I never actually gave tours in the building, but I had to clean up after tours occasionally,
Yep.
sweep and stuff like that. And yeah, there's voices in the house.
Thank you, Marty. Thank you. Okay, yeah.
Did
there
they
you go.
say Marty?
You just validated everything that
thanks.
Roger has
You're my new
experienced.
hero, okay?
Did they say Roger or Marty? Would be funny if they're calling people that's not Roger. You know?
or when is that Roger guy going to start working there?
Really? What's that, Marty?
No, you said you don't want me to call him Roger?
No, it'd be funny if a ghost kept calling some other people that had the wrong name, Roger.
Okay. But no, you would hear a female call out.
Oh, really?
See?
Yeah.
See?
Okay.
That was pretty commonplace. And there was a guy that used to give tours a while back, and I think he may be passed on now. I'm not sure, deceased. But
Yeah, one of them passed a few years ago. Nice fella. Yeah.
Well, anyhow, I would follow him on his tours, and I didn't try to, tell what I knew or anything like that. But after the tour was over one day, he'd been talking about how they put curtains on the windows and covered up mirrors, but he didn't know why. So I explained to him what the reason was for covering up mirrors and windows. And on the next tour, he swore, he said, somebody said thank you when I told him about the mirrors and the windows.
Oh, wow.
He said, I heard something or somebody say thank you. So anyhow, he hit a spot with the ghost who was in there. I had an experience back in the 70s I worked out there kind of like as a gopher. I did whatever Mrs. Beverly told me to do, or Miss King told me what to do. And we had what they call days on the farm.
Mm-hmm.
And people would come out and they would set up their booths and they'd set up their boiling pots and they would shear sheep and all this other stuff, all kinds of good stuff. I think I remember one lady out there had a churn, or a man actually, had a churn. And Mr. Shroud from Laverne, I don't know if you know him or no. He's probably one of the most fantastic historians I've ever met in my life. But I believe he was out there doing something, making bread or something. He makes sourdough bread now. But anyhow, Miss Beverly told me after everybody left, she said, just go out there and make sure all the fires are out and there's no people left out there. Make sure everybody's out the gate. So I went out there. I was on my little horse, and I was riding around, and I got around to the front of the building, and there was no people left, no fires, they put them out like they're supposed to. But I saw this guy who was walking beside the house, and he was dressed in a Confederate uniform. And I hollered at him. I said, "Hey, sir," I said, "I'm sorry, but you're going to have to leave. We're through for the day." Well, he didn't turn around. He didn't acknowledge me or anything. He just kept on walking. And I got my horse spurred up a little bit, and I got closer to him, and I said, "Sir, I'm sorry, but you're going to have to leave." And he turned around and he looked at me. Oh, my gosh, what a face, what an expression. It was unreal. But he was almost to the big white barn back over there. You know what I'm talking about, Roger?
Yeah, oh, yes,
big
yes,
barn back
exactly.
in the back. Right. So anyhow, we get up closer to the barn, but he won't stop. He won't turn around. And he goes in the barn, but he hit me. He didn't even open the doors. He just went inside the barn. So,
wow.
I mean, I got all excited, because I thought, ooh, I got me a ghost now. So I got off my pony, and I went in and opened the barn doors and walked in. And he was standing in the hallway looking at me and pointed to the carriage. Oh, whoa, you talking about goosebumps, chills, the whole 9 yards, man. I mean, it was...
So that's how you knew. That's how you knew the carriage had been stored there for many years.
Yeah, because it was
led to
covered in
restoration.
dust. It was. It may have had a blanket on it at one time, but it was just sitting there covered in dust, and I looked into it, and the floor had rotted out. All kinds of crazy stuff.
Yeah.
So I went back up to the house and I asked Miss Beverly. I said, "You know about that carriage?" And she said, "Yeah, I know about the carriage." I said, "Was that Sam Davis' carriage?" Well, at the time we didn't know who it belonged to, but I think now we know it was a family or a family member or something like that, but it wasn't actually Sam's.
Oscar's, maybe, I think.
Okay.
Okay.
Oscar was a brother.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I asked Miss Beverly, I said, "You mind if I take that carriage home and clean it up? Maybe we could use it in parades." And she talked to Mrs. King about it, and everybody was in agreement. They let me take it home. I put it in my garage. I lived on Brookhaven Trail at the time. A.C. Cole lives in that house now.
Yep.
And I put it in the garage, and I put it up on jacks, and let's see what else. Okay, I put it up on jacks, took the wheels off, and then I started rebuilding the floorboard. And I found some artifacts in there, a powder horn, and I found some old lead bullets and stuff like that. And I gave them to the Miss Beverly to give to whoever they're supposed to go to. So anyhow, I was going ahead and I got that thing fixed back up, and then I had to find a pair of horses that would pull it. Well, I want you to know, first time the horses got close to it, they were backing up. They would get nowhere near it. And I knew why. A horse is not going to go near something that is not right, or they see something we don't. But anyhow, finally, after working with the carriage a little bit and sitting on it and stuff like that, whatever it was, the horses calmed down and was able to get them hooked up.
Yeah.
The Tennessee newspaper came out and took some pictures of me driving the carriage in the backyard with a pair of horses.
Oh, yeah, that carriage is actually in our museum now. You got to look at it. It's awesome. You did a great job on it, man.
Yeah.
Awesome job on it.
Go ahead, Jeremy.
Yeah, hey, Marty, this is Jeremy here. I got a question for you, history question.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, do you know, with the time we have left, considering that the fact that the Sam Davis home was, a plantation, how big of a land, how much of the land do you think was, plantation land? I know that the big field behind it was, because it still looks kind of like it. Do you think part of the back nine of the golf course, was that also part of that too?
No, that was the Gooch Plantation.
Goochland, okay.
Goochland. But I do know this. After there was a guy named Pat somebody, and I liked him a lot, and he gave a lot of history tours on the Trail of Tears. He was part of Indian. And we did determine that on the Trail of Tears, when the Indians got close to Smyrna, they camped out on Sam Davis Farm.
Oh yeah,
well, Marty, we got like a minute left. Thanks, Marty. I know Roger wanted to mention something real quick.
Yeah, Mr. Jones, we're having that. Of course, we're having at Old Jefferson reunion the 19th. I've got your number. I'm gonna call you and give you directions just from 1 to 4.
Mr. Charles Jones.
Mr. Charles Jones, if you're listening. And if you're not, I will give you a call. We'll meet up and I'll get you over to it. Okay?
Yeah. Tiffany, we're gonna miss you. I hope we get to see you. Yeah. And then you're gonna start training Terica tonight.
I sure am. We're doing it already.
She's the one helping me on Miss Edith Moore's property on the Lynchburg Highway, trying to save that old property. If folks are interested, I think Scott Walker has a news story up. And folks, we'll talk with you next week.